Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Gun. Up here today, I wanted to sort of talk a little bit about something, um, and that is how I'm basically feeling after having basically sold my game collection. So, for those of you who don't know, if you follow my channel, years ago, I was all about collecting games. I was all about trying to build a huge game collection and just have it for the sake of having it, you know. And last year, throughout this year and last year, I've sold off my game collection. And there were a couple of reasons behind that. Financially was obviously number one. We were struggling with finances and things. I mean, we're in a better position now than we were over a year ago, for certain. Yes, and I've still got this mindset of, if I see a game, that I know is worth a bit of money and I see it for a good price, yeah, I might, try and sell it. I've always still got that mindset. I'm not stupid. I'm not oblivious to knowing how much games are worth. But I'll talk more about that in a little bit, because there's something that just boggles my mind. Obviously, another reason was space. I've got two bookcases in this front room. I've got in this bedroom. I've got one downstairs, and then my son's got one in his room. And yeah, they're full up with DVDs and movies. But obviously now that I've got a baby on the way, coming just over a month now. I thought, well, there's no point just having bookcases full of it. And you might argue, okay, well, you've still got movies. The thing is, and I just said this to my friend, a movie will take an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours max. TV show maybe a bit more, but I spend more time watching stuff than I do playing stuff. I maybe play a little bit of something in the morning for an hour or two, and then the same in the afternoon. That's how much I play games now. And another, so at least with a movie or a TV show, and the main reason I have DVDs and Blu-rays is because, A, if my internet goes down, I've got something that I can at least watch, and I've talked about this in my to stream or not to stream videos, but also because not everything is on a streaming service. If I enjoy a movie or a TV show, I'm going to want a physical version of it to watch whenever I feel like it, And another reason I got rid of my game collection was because I just weren't playing the games. I had thousands of games, and I'm going to be honest with you, I probably played about 30% of my collection. How many games did I beat in my collection? Probably about 15% of the games that I had, I've beaten. And I thought, I thought having a game collection made me happy. And the reality was, it didn't. It just made me more and more upset inside that I'm getting all of these games in. I'm spending money on games, and I'm not playing them. I'm just having them for the sake of having them. I see people, buying games just for the sake of keeping it sealed and never touching it. And I think to myself, why? If you're going to resell a game, then fine, okay, no problem. But just to have something and not use it, just, I fell into that mindset of just collecting things for the sake of collecting it. I'll admit I can be easily influenced by certain things, and that's part of my Asperger's and autism. If I start enjoying something, I'm going to go all in on it. It's same with Dragon Ball. I started playing Dragon Ball game, and now I brought the collections, and I still want more from it, and I've gone through these phases in my life, and I'm sure if you also have these, I don't want to say conditions, whatever, you probably know where I'm coming from. And I just thought to myself, what point? At what point is this going to be too much for me? And it overwhelmed me, going, there's no point. There's no point of having these games for the sake of having it, And I think to myself, the people say, do you regret selling your game collection? There is a part of me that's like, yeah, I do. There's a part of me that's like, I wish I still had this game. Now it's worth double, triple the amount. I looked up how much a PS2 would cost me to buy one from CX. 80 quid. and then 50 quid for Budokai Tenkaichi. I could buy a modded PS2 for what, 250 quid with 700 games on it, you know, and get that on there, you know. And I am tempted. I am tempted to reach out to the X emulation and buy the modded PS2, just for the sole purpose to be able to play Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and still have a bunch of other games to play, you know. And that's the thing, you know. I see people trying to sell boxes. Yeah, boxes for like Game Boy games, Pokemon games, 200 quid for a box, just a box. And I think to myself, look, I've been in the collector's mindset. I have nothing against video game collectors. I love, you know, watching people like Metal Jesus and other video game collectors. You know, I love watching people's collections, you know. But at least when I watch people like Metal Jesus and stuff, I know that he actually plays a lot of these games. He'll try them out, you know. And that's what I mean. My channel is no longer about games anymore. You know, I originally started my channel to be gaming orientated and collecting orientated, but now I've sort of got out of that phase and I'm more into talking about movies and TV show, because I spend more time watching stuff than I do playing stuff, you know. And that's the thing, guys. I do miss my game collection, but there's a part of me that's like, I won't do it. I won't do it. I found it very hard to even buy just Assassin's Creed Odyssey on disc. You know, I do see games and I go, you know what, I wouldn't mind having a physical version, but the only time I'll buy a physical version of a game is if it's cheaper for me to buy a physical version than it is to buy a digital version. You know, I have 3 consoles basically now. I have my Xbox Series S, which is all digital, but I don't care because I've got Game Pass, and I know a lot of people are going to sit there and go, oh, these things can get taken down and stuff like that. I understand that, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I don't feel the need to just go out there and buy games just to say that I've got this game. I don't care about having to play the newest game that's just come out. They could bring out the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I couldn't care less if I've played Modern Warfare 2 or if I don't play Modern Warfare 2. You know, if someone come up to me and say, here you go, I'm going to give you a copy of this game, do you want it? I'd say, yeah, sure, why not? If it gets put on the Game Pass, will I try it out? Of course. You know, if my friend says, oh, here we go, we can play this together, I'll play it. You know, Overwatch 2, for example, you know, it's a free-to-play game. I paid 8 quid for the season pass or battle pass, and I'm happy with that, you know. I spent £12 on Dragon Ball Kakarot. I've put over 30 hours in that game now, and I enjoyed every moment of it. You know, I've got my PS4, of course, which is the same sort of principle. I do want to get a PS5 one day, but I'm not too bothered about it. And then my modded PS3, which has hundreds and thousands of games from all generations. And that's better for me because when I look at like the PS1 games on there and the PS2 games and somewhat PS3 games, a lot of them I'll just play for and try them out. But half of them I'm like, I'll play, try them out, and then I won't ever go back to. But I can go, you know, I've tried it out at least, you know. And I think to myself, if I spent 10, 15 quid on that game and then had it in my collection, played it, didn't like it, and just put it back on the shelf, I'm thinking, why? The principle applies to me with the same with movies. You know, a lot of people say, why have you got DVDs? Why, you know, are you going to upgrade to Blu-ray? Yes and no, you know. Not everything on DVD has a Blu-ray release here in the UK, unfortunately. But I digress, you know, if I watch a movie and I enjoy it and I can see myself rewatching it, I'm going to keep it because I know that I can come back to it anytime I want. If it has a Blu-ray release or a 4K release, then by all means, you know, maybe I'll spend a little bit of money to upgrade it or if I come across it, you know. And that's the mindset that I have now. And you know, I'm going to be honest with you, it boggles my mind that people spend 200 quid. 200 quid just to buy a box of like Pokemon, or just a box. And I think to myself, wow, you're paying £200 for a piece of cardboard that was given away with the game when it come out for £50. And I think to myself, yeah, I understand, you know, the market. Honestly, don't get me started on video game marketplaces because I just think it's ridiculous. That's one of the reasons, another reason I gave up the game collection, because it's ridiculous, you know, especially older games. People are fucking, you know, people are basically charging people crazy money just to say, so people can go, oh, look what I've got, look how awesome that is. And I think to myself, if it makes you happy, then fine, you know, go for it. But from a realist point of view, I'm like, you spent 200 quid on something that was once 40, 30, 50 quid just for a piece of cardboard. And there are people out there, you know, that it's crazy. If you gave me 200 quid, I would not spend it on a piece of cardboard, I can tell you that much. You know, I'd be going out and I'd be buying food shopping, I'd be getting stuff for the house, you know, I've become more responsible with money now. You know, yes, I am still buying the occasional things. Again, that's the same as streaming service. You know, I use streaming subscription services because I use them. You know, I enjoy watching stuff. You know, I prefer to watch stuff. But don't get me wrong, I still love gaming. You know, there's still games. But like I said to you, 80% of the games that come out every year, I'd say about 20% of them actually interest me. And don't get me started on how gaming is today, because I think games are fucking horrendous. Now, not to say that games are bad, there are amazing games out there. But the way that games are released now are just fucking horrendous. People are basically trying to charge you 50, 60 quid for a game and then go, do you know what? It's not released how we wanted it to be released. You're going to have to wait another year and a half for everything to be in the game that we originally intended. And I'm like, it's crazy, you know. I just think to myself, it's fucking crazy that these companies think they can get away with doing this sort of stuff. And then you've got people, you know, put more the fool for you know, more the fool for us buying them, you know. And that's why I don't buy games day one anymore. I don't pre-order games. I've never pre-ordered a game since, and I can't even remember the last game I pre-ordered. The last game I bought day one was the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, but I knew that I was going to enjoy that, and I did. I played it all the way through, and I loved it. I still got loads of stuff to do in that game, and I know that. I can go back to that game whenever I want, you know? Same with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I played that game. I still got loads of stuff that I need to go back and do. I need to finish it, but I can do that whenever I want, you know? And that's the thing, guys. You know, for me now, when I play a game, it's going to be one of two things. I'm either going to play a game and just go all in on it, just try and get everything done, put as many hours into it, try and get as much as I can do out of my money's worth, or I'll play a game and then just play it once and go, do you know what, this wasn't for me, and move on to the next one. More so with older games, and that's another reason I've got rid of a lot of my older games and I don't collect retro gaming, because for me personally, it's very hard to go back and play. You know, I was playing Crash Bandicoot 1 on the PS1, Crash Bandicoot 2, the PS1 version, and using a D-pad, it doesn't hold up very well, unfortunately. A lot of these old 3D platformers, especially on PlayStation, don't hold up well. But then when they re-released that game on PS4, it's like, you know what, we still got the great nostalgia that game had, and we can enjoy it properly now, not because of the graphics or anything, but because the controls feel good, you know. I'm not losing my finger when I'm playing a game, you know. I can use, you know, so to some extent remakes and reboots can be a good thing, you know. We can experience a game how we thought we remembered it, but actually play it as we feel like it should have been intended, you know. Don't get me wrong, retro gaming, again, I know it's huge. I love, you know, I love video games. I love the history of video games, and people that like playing retro games, by all means, I'd say there's more. You know, one example is great. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 had over 150 characters, had loads of different modes in it, and then the new Dragon Ball game comes out and it's like, no, you're not going to get that many characters. We're going to give you like 40 characters, but if you want more characters and you want more sagas, you're going to have to wait a year and a half for it all to come out, and you have to pay extra for it. And it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? That's why part of me's like, you know what, if they were to do a new Time Splitters, would they pull that shit? Would they go, you know what, if you want the extra characters, you're going to have to buy them? Yeah, you know what I mean? So It is crazy, guys. It is crazy. But honestly, so to answer the question, am I glad that I sold my game collection? Yeah, I am. I don't no longer feel that pressure that I had going, you know what, I've got all of these games, I'm never going to get round to playing them. You know, with DVDs, with TV shows, there's no rush, you know. I can go at my own pace. The same, that's what I mean. Digital gaming, I know physical gaming, a lot of people say, you know, there's ups and downs. I'm not here to talk about, do I think physical is better, do I think digital is better. Both of them have their pros and cons, guys, and I've talked about this before in the past. Do you know what I mean? Do what you want to do, but this is what works for me. I'm happy, you know, like I said, 30 plus hours into Dragon Ball Kakarot, and I've enjoyed the game. You know, I'm still playing it. You know, I'm still doing stuff in the game, and I'm happy with that. I don't feel like, you know, when I had the big collection standing next to me, I'm like, oh, I've just spent 30, 40 hours on this game, and I'm like, I've still got another 200 games next to me that I still need to play. I don't have that pressure anymore. I don't feel like they're sitting there haunting over me. DVDs, not so much, you know. Like, you know, I'm watching. So, you know, one example is Robot Chicken. You know, I had that season 1, 2, and 3 box, and I had that for quite some time, you know. And I've only just got around to watching that, and I don't care, you know. I'm like, you know what, I've watched it, you know, and I'm gonna watch this one of season 4 tonight. You know, so I'm like, I'm happy that I can watch this, you know. I don't feel the pressure, you know. A bit still pissed off with this in particular because 5 to 11 isn't available on physical media, but it is available on all 4. So I might pick up all 4 when I get paid next to check it out so I can watch the other stuff. Although I think it's probably going to be censored, but I don't know. We'll see, because I know Adult Swim tend not to censor their stuff. I don't know. But I digress, guys. I just wanted to share this with you and let you know that I don't regret selling my game collection. I don't feel angry about not having a game collection anymore. I'm happy with the way things are. I'm still gaming when I want. You know, I'm watching stuff, I'm playing stuff. And I just think now maybe I've matured a little bit. Maybe it's because I've got kids now, you know. Maybe I sort of reality sets in and goes, you know what, this isn't your world anymore. That your world is no longer about you. It's no longer about, you know. And I think to myself, you know, a lot of people go, oh, if you've got kids, and they come in and they see people that are doing YouTube videos that have got kids and got thousands of games and spending all this money on games and stuff themselves. And I think it's wrong for us to sit there and judge people like that. If you want to spend your money on what you want, you know, if the kid's happy with what they've got, you know, like my son's very happy with his own toys and his own phone, and he plays his own games, you know, like, you don't care that I've got stuff. They never go without, do you know what I mean? But I digress, guys. I just wanted to share this with you, let you know that, you know, I don't regret selling my game collection. I wanted to do this update for a while, you know, but anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Bit of a rant over, if you will. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like. Let me know, do you think I made the right decision doing this? And let me know, have you had to make a similar decision in your life? And how you felt about it. And as always, guys, subscribe if you haven't already. Join the family. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, The Mad Tiger, and have a nice day.